In the year 536, the world didn't end with a bang. It ended quietly. There was no single great explosion, no legendary earthquake, no invading army crossing borders. Instead, something far more sinister happened, something invisible that touched every living thing on Earth. The sun began to fail. At first, people must have thought it was a temporary curse, a strange season, a passing omen. But days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The light did not return. Across the vast Roman Empire, farmers stared at a pale, colorless sun that offered no warmth. Even at high noon, the air felt like late evening, and shadows barely formed. In the middle of summer, frost coated the ground, and crops that had sustained generations withered before they could be harvested. Historian made. Procopius, living in Constantinople, captured the horror in words that still send a chill down our spines. He wrote, "The sun gave forth its light without brightness, like the moon, during this whole year." The terror wasn't just in what he saw, but in the dreadful implication. The very source of life was dying, and this wasn't a local disaster, it was global. In China, imperial court records described an equally bizarre phenomenon. Snow fell in the summer. A mysterious yellow dust drifted through the air, coating everything. Harvests failed catastrophically. The emperor, desperate, ordered prayers, sacrifices, and elaborate rituals to restore balance to the heavens, but the dim sky remained unchanged. Far away in Ireland, monks huddled in cold stone monasteries, chronicling years of famine so severe that entire communities simply vanished from history. Their written records, once detailed, became shorter, darker, and then, for many, they just stopped as if the energy to even scratch ink onto parchment was too much to spare. For nearly 18 agonizing months, the sun remained dim. This wasn't a story told by one person or one culture. The planet itself recorded the event. Tree rings from Europe, Asia, and North America all show the same thing, a sudden, dramatic stunting of growth that began precisely in the year 536. It's like the Earth held its breath. Scientists today have found more clues frozen in time. Ice cores drilled deep into the glaciers of Greenland and Antarctica reveal massive spikes of sulfur, particles trapped in ancient ice. This is the smoking gun, pointing to colossal volcanic activity. The ash and sulfur were thrown so high into the stratosphere that they formed a planetary veil, a thin shield that reflected sunlight back into space and plunged the world below into a prolonged, terrifying twilight. But here's where the mystery deepens. No single volcano has ever been conclusively identified as the culprit. Some scientists theorize that multiple massive eruptions occurred almost simultaneously, a one-two punch from the planet itself. Others suggest a more cosmic origin story. Perhaps a comet fragment exploded in the upper atmosphere, spreading a fine dust across the globe without leaving a visible crater. There are even quieter, more unsettling theories of Earth passing through a dense, unseen cloud of cosmic debris. Whatever the cause, the result was a global catastrophe. Temperatures plummeted. The seasons collapsed into a chaotic mess. Rain fell when it shouldn't have, and snow appeared where it had never been seen before. Suddenly, food became the most valuable commodity on Earth. As hunger spread, societies began to fracture. Malnutrition weakened immune systems on a massive scale, creating the perfect storm for disease. And in 541, just 5 years after the sun dimmed, the Justinian plague erupted. It swept through the Mediterranean world, killing millions and delivering the second devastating blow to a world already on its knees. Many historians now believe the plague was no coincidence. It found a population already weakened by years of famine and cold. The great empires that had seemed invincible for centuries suddenly looked fragile. The Roman order, the classical stability, the familiar rhythms of life, it all began to dissolve. Trade routes that had connected the known world for generations broke down. Armies weakened. Governments lost control. And from that darkness, a new world began to emerge. Apocalyptic beliefs surged. Religious movements intensified as people, staring at a failing sun, believed they were witnessing divine punishment or the literal end of days. Stories of angry skies, dark suns, and impending judgment appeared in cultures all over the globe, almost simultaneously. The world's myths and religions were reshaped by the darkness. Within a few decades, the political map of the world was redrawn. Old empires faded into memory, and new societies rose from the ashes of the catastrophe. The medieval world, with its distinct art, politics, and faith, was born from this global crisis. Modern historians have a name for this period: the late antique Little Ice Age, a profound climate shift that reshaped human history more than any single war or powerful king. Yet, Despite all the evidence, this cataclysmic event remains strangely absent from our popular history. There's no grand monument to the year the sun disappeared. There's no universally recognized name for it, no single villain to blame. There's only a quiet, chilling truth. Human civilization once came dangerously close to total collapse. Not because of its enemies, but because the sky itself turned against us. And perhaps the most unsettling thought of all is this: if a global disaster of this magnitude could happen once, without warning, hidden from our history books, it could happen again. The sun would still rise, but the light might not return. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into our planet's forgotten past as fascinating as I did, Dan T, forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of history. See you next time.